This is the Bottleneck Car Park on Loch Promenade in Douglas, and of course for a couple of weeks a year it's completely different from this. It's when Bushy's beer tent is here. With me is Martin from the Brewery. On the news, of course, that this may all be changing in a sense, because now they want you to tender for putting a tent here. Is that right?
Yes, well, so I hear anyway. I haven't actually seen any details, but from what I gather, Douglas Corporation, for the first time in over 15 years anyway, are going to put the area out for tender over the TT period.
Now, shouldn't they do that? Isn't that what they're meant to do anyway, to find the best deal for them and the ratepayers of Douglas?
Well, yes, on one hand I would say yes, I would agree with that, but in the past it's always been deemed that because Bushy started this whole thing down here, and that we were basically doing a decent job, that they called it a selective tender, whereby we were basically given the job to do it, and we had to pay a fee for being here.
Well, I'm running some pictures here from '07. It's just an example of how massively busy it was in those days. Obviously, it was sort of unregulated with the entertainment. It was just make it up as you go along and people having a good time. Then it got more structured, yes. and it sort of changed the whole atmosphere. And did that change the sort of amount of people that came here?
Well, yes and no. Obviously, the tourist board decided to move the focus of the activity down towards the Villa Marina. It hurt us to a degree because it meant that we were just basically left on our own. But thankfully, we've got a very loyal following who still come and see us. And I'd like to think virtually everyone who comes into Douglas over the TT period comes and visits Bushy's at least once. And so in that respect, we're still doing okay. But no, it certainly didn't help. And I'm still not convinced that it helped the TT by moving it all. As far as I'm concerned, the TT's recent heyday was when everything took place down here.
Well, anyway, you've got the option now to put in a tender. Will you be?
Well, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to comply with whatever's being asked for. Until I actually see the terms and conditions, it's hard to say. But yeah, I intend to at this stage. But I do have to say that also that if it just came down to the highest bidder, I think we've always known that there are plenty of people out there who could just blow us out of the water. There are people out there with very deep pockets. So I'd love to have thought that it would be far more than just the highest bidder, and that all the other things that we put on would have to be taken into consideration, and what's best for the TT in general.
Because you as a company, I mean, you told me on interviews in the past, you sell a massive proportion of all your beer in that 2-week period, don't you? We
do, and as far as our brewery goes, yes, we do rely heavily on the TT, not just from the beer tent, but from sales around the island as well. And it's a frightening amount of beer in one period, and it's dangerous to rely on one event so much. But that's the way it is, and we just it's evolved that way over nearly 30 years now, and we just have to sort of live with that fact and deal with it.
But, I mean, do you agree that this is a process that has to be followed now, to be transparent with everybody, to see what you're bidding compared with what other people want to pay?
Yes, I do. I'm not disputing that fact. One thing I am disputing, though, and I'd like to sit down with people from the corporation and just work out this quote that somebody said, that the corporation should not be subsidising Bushy's. As far as I'm aware, and by all the calculations I can do, the figure that we've been paying over the last few years has more than covered the lost parking spaces, and we haven't gone to any single person for a single handout. We've funded everything ourselves, whether it's the days of the entertainment outside in 2007 as well, all paid for by sponsors and ourselves. So I would have to dispute that anybody is subsidising Bushy's, and we've never asked for one penny.
Did you have any inkling this was going to happen this year, or was the first you knew about it when it just hit the headlines?
I suppose we knew that 2012 was the last year of our current, or what was our current 3-year deal. I sensed that there was a little bit of reluctance to talk about 2013 going forward. I could sense that people weren't prepared to really talk about it. Nobody would look me in the eye, and so I can't say I'm not. I wasn't sort of getting a little bit suspicious when nobody would even discuss it. But let's just say I am disappointed.